make sure I can share my screen.
I don't know.
Oh, all right, folks. Where is this? Okay. See if we can move this out of the way.
The sound's coming through.
Is the sound coming through? Awesome. Thank you so much. Good morning. How is everybody today? Everybody enjoying the under 110-degree day we're going to have today? First time, what, 35 days? 34? I lost count. Does anybody know? Has anybody been watching it? We went over 32. I know that. 36. 36 days? 36 days over 110. How about that for a new record? How many of you were born in Arizona? Really? None of you were born here? Really? No way. I mean, only two here. No, you don't count. You were not born here. 1.5. Really? Seriously, nobody else here was born here. Wow. Lynn, you were? Okay.
The only one I know that's born here.
Well, no, Lynn said she was born here. So, good morning. And thank you guys for coming, because I know in the middle of the summer, it is hard to get in that car and deal with that heat. So, for those that are new here, I'm Melissa Schwartz. I'm the managing broker of the Paradise Valley office. We've got some guests here and some new agents. So thank you for coming in. Relax and enjoy. Take your backpack off. You're good. You can go get coffee over there if you want. There's coffee and bagels. So let me go ahead and get us started here. You know what? Oh, come on. Really? We're not going to work. Well, that was too easy, right? How did that happen? Well, we'll do it that way. I cannot believe how many of you have August birthdays. We were like, wow. So how many of you in this room have August birthdays? Raise your hand. Okay, just so you know, November, early December, that Thanksgiving time, your parents are having a great time. August, there are a lot of birthdays. You came from cold country is what I'm figuring, right? You're from someplace other than Arizona, right? So there you go. But that's a lot of birthdays here. We had to keep going down in our type font to try and get you all in there. Okay, believe it or not, I know it felt like it was slow. Who felt July was slow? Kind of slow. You know what? These numbers, though, last month we affected 151 lives. This month, 138, not that far off, right? And actually, last month, does anybody remember what this number is? Any guesses? No. June was 84 million out of this office. It was about 130 the month before. But June was about 84,000 and July is 84 million and July was 88 million. We actually went up in dollar volume last month, but obviously a few less families were impacted by that. But things are still moving. $88 million of real estate out of this office. Okay, that is pretty incredible, folks. Congratulations. Ooh. I know you like the stats. So I think by next month, these numbers will be more in sync with one another. Remember, I started with Mandy's numbers that did not all have the same parameters that I was using, because when I asked you whether you wanted me to narrow these details to Maricopa County, so I switched some of this up to Maricopa County alone, okay? So when you see some of the details on the next pages, if you're looking at the stuff on the far side, it's gonna be like, wait, those numbers don't match. And you're right, they don't. Because I was taking them from Mandy's old sheets and it was like they weren't the same exact search criteria. So we should be pretty good next month. It should be all the way across following month by month. Well, obviously, everybody kind of said it earlier, last month kind of felt like things had slowed down, but really, they did not slow down by as much as I thought they did, right? Because I felt like everybody was coming in saying, I don't have any business, right? But really, if you think about this, active and coming soon listings were only down since our July meeting by 60 units. That's it, folks. That is not much of a shift. And remember, as we head into August, now's the time, traditionally, August, September is traditionally when we go down because kids are back in school, families are not moving, right? So this is the time we see the decline. This is relatively low for what we have traditionally seen, even in the July, because school started early this year. For folks that don't know, school has already started. If you don't have kids, school in this area started either last Thursday or this Monday, depending if you were in Scottsdale or PD. So a lot of people with children wanted to be in early July because school started at the very beginning of August, okay? East Valley, little different. It starts almost traditionally, it starts in the middle of July, and it did still start in the middle of July. So East Valley is a little earlier, and that again is reflected in those Maricopa County numbers. We do traditionally see a slowdown in July because of that. Now, here's where some of our numbers, again, you'll see on the next page, but Maricopa County actives, that is all properties, single family, manufactured home, townhome, condos, etc. So that was only down 281, that's 7,971 homes, okay? Again, not a huge drop, folks, it really isn't, okay? Now, single family, kind of in line with that, so I'm guessing 60 of those homes were townhomes or patio homes. And then UCB 261 down, but coming soon, had been up, just went up just a little bit. Let's see if that number next month, either the coming soon or the actives jumps up next month, because that means we do have more inventory coming in, right? How many of you are talking to sellers that are getting ready to list? Anybody got a couple of folks? So we do still have some activity coming up. Now, here's where we have the huge change. We got just a little bit of increases here, right? And the numbers down are very, very, very low. How many of you know you have access to this on your newsletters that I send out? How many of you are reading the newsletter? In the newsletter, the first of the month has from Leah out of our Goodyear office. This information is there. You have two options. You have one you can edit. You could put your name and phone number right here and resend this out to your database, okay? It's already prepared for you. You also have more stats if you prefer kind of what we're dealing with next on these other ones. You have other stats you can send out. If you've got engineers, get those stats ready. They want to see the numbers. Remember who your buyers are so you can provide them, or your sellers. They want to see that information.
Well, so the graphic is Maricopa County?
No, surrounding areas too.
Well, the graphic is coming from the broader number, and she's not narrowing it to Maricopa County.
Can we talk right to it?
I can certainly ask her.
Maybe send her some bagels.
I'll see her on Monday morning. I'll hear her on Monday morning, but I have a manager's meeting on Monday morning. So I will ask her if she would consider redoing that to Maricopa County. So for those that have not been a part of this discussion, when you go into the Arizona Regional MLS, most of us are thinking that that is the valley, right? That's the stuff right here in our immediate area. Unfortunately, folks from, I don't know, Tucson, Prescott, Payson, Flagstaff have decided they want to market to our buyers. And so they're putting stuff into our AR MLS, okay? And when they do that, and then we pull numbers, if you actually open up your Arizona map and pull it all the way out, you'll see stuff all over the state. But unfortunately, then when we're pulling our data, it's not really accurate for what's going on here, right? How does it make sense to compare? I've got a single family home and I'm comparing it to a cabin in Flagstaff. And that just doesn't even make sense.
Even medical custody.
Well, and so that's one, the town of Maricopa, right? So is in Pima County. So when I'm doing mine, we are excluding Maricopa, but how many of you have sold in Maricopa? Right? I mean, that's the only thing. A lot of us end up going down to Maricopa because it's not that far away. How many of you sold in Casa Grande?
Not that far away.
It's not that far away.
It's not that far away.
Florence, Casa Grande, right? So we're trying to find homes, but I do get that. My point is for us to look at the statistics. It is really hard to, I mean, at least Maricopa, those homes are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in a suburbia that is more comparable than a cabin up in Flagstaff. So, all right. So again, when we get to the next page, I'm actually going to show you where you'll see a little bit of difference here. You can see this was March 19th to June 19th, right? So this is still coming from the searches that Mandy had. And you can tell that difference up here with the active being 8,000 versus 11,000. That was from a different search. All right. So I just want to point that out because I was sitting there last night looking at this going, wait, these numbers. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we should see it be more in line when you go from 8,000 to 8,200, right? So you had just a slight change in the actives there. And the largest shift really was, if you look at this 550 to 619, it's like, wait a minute, we didn't jump that much. It's that we were looking at different properties. So 619 down to 600. How did that happen? Few properties started a little high, folks. They listed them high and then they dropped them. Exactly. So we're seeing that. But the reality is we've got 1.86 days absorption rate. So that's almost 2 months, but under 2 months. So just taking a tad bit longer. That's unusual to me. I was expecting to see 2 months there, or 2.5 months, honestly, right? Because we're seeing stuff sitting 60 days, but this is saying, nope, overall, we're not. So now I just gave you a screen. Whoops. Where did that do that? I don't know if I can get back. Oh, I did. The sold price. So the sold price is right here, $499 compared to $494, $5,000 difference. That is really not a huge change. So what I did is I went ahead and showed you, this is the difference you can see up here. These were Mandy's polls, and then you can see these two that were really with my polls recently, okay? So that's just giving you the variable, just so you can see how that shift, it definitely is a difference now that we're looking at just Maricopa County, okay? So let's go on. This is the one you guys like to see. All right, 10-mile radius. Active listings in June. Just to give you, because you can't see the one before, but the active listings in June. Oh, this was on that other sheet. Whoops. You want me to go back? Where is this? So I didn't go through the detail, but really it was not much of a shift. Okay. I just had the detail here for me on that. So the good news is there's still plenty of activity going on. 2,000 single family homes listed right now, and so single family, sorry, all active listings, but single family 1,295. And that's right in line with where it was a month ago. Any other questions with those? This is just the 10-mile radius to see this jump. Again, this one is more in line because it was the 10-mile radius, right? You weren't including anything outside of Maricopa County. So these numbers followed along. The weird thing, and I still don't understand this, I think her map must have included more in Paradise Valley. Because to go from 840 to 669 and 974 to 895, that's my only thought, is that she had a little bit more stretch into Paradise Valley than I did with where I started and did my little circle.
Tina
But-
just did one of her presentations with one of the title companies, and she did 3 million and below to get more accurate, right? Because once you do those, 18, $20 million, it throws everything out, right?
Well, and let's be realistic, right? Our 88 million last month is going to be much more heavily weighted to Joan Levinson and the multi-million-dollar deals that she did last month. I don't even remember her number, but she's the number one in this office. And that's going to be the majority of that 88 million, because I think she did 3 deals. So,
She's
yeah.
number one in the state.
yeah.
Even higher than that.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
It's like
she's-
one of the top in the country.
Yeah. Did I? Okay. So who in this, since it's slow, how many of you are getting out and getting some education? Going out and meeting other people? Meeting clients? Who's taking clients to coffee? Saying hello in the midst of all this? There are opportunities out there. These are free, folks. This is through the Arizona Association of Realtors. Go to AAR online, you'll see these events. These are just a few of them. If you noticed in our newsletter, Kathy Laswick and Nikki Salgit, the attorney that spoke last month, are doing an educational presentation in like 2 weeks. I don't remember. I'll have to look at my calendar, but it is in your newsletter. So I'm sure there's a cost to that because it's continuing education. It is a 3-hour program. I do not have that up here, but I do have the summit. They just announced our dates. We have moved to the Venetian. So please join us in 2024, February 4th through the 6th. How many of you have been to the summit? How many of you that have been to the summit would encourage somebody else to go? You guys are quiet today.
I want to hear from people that didn't.
No, you want to hear from the people that have gone. So here's the thing, I've been to every summit they've had, and I will tell you that you will not get the list of who's presenting. Unlike other presentations, they keep you on your seats. And trust me, you don't want to even leave to go get a coffee because you're like, I don't want to miss who might be walking on that stage next. They have surprised us time and time and time again. I have no doubt that this year will be another elevated list of presenters. Can somebody tell me some of the presenters? Do you remember any of the names?
Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek,
Preacher. I didn't.
Preach,
I
right?
this, unfortunately.
Eric Thomas, preacher, right?
Molly.
Hmm?
Molly.
Molly, yeah, Molly presented.
It's a fun party.
It's there, yeah, it's amazing. And it's
Shaquille O'Neal there? Shaquille O'Neal?
Shaquille O'Neal last year. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I thought it was very funny. They had, so these are short, right? But I swear the chair he sat in was even shorter than this, and his legs were like, I think they were trying to make him a little more even with Corey, I don't remember her title, but Corey does all of the programming. She's amazing. And so she sat down and had a one-on-one with Shaquille O'Neal. Absolutely incredible. And then her mom and dad kind of stole the limelight there because Shaquille was like, oh, Mom. And she's like, oh, Mom, please don't come on stage. And she's like, hi.
Do you know if they're doing any pricing incentives for elected groups, like if we were to pull the office? Or?
Yes, we will have discount tickets with 10 or more, and I can combine people in this office if a group of 10 get together, so I can get discount tickets for you. I will be giving away tickets, I'm sure, either next month or the month after that. Usually I do a little raffle to get some of those tickets out in your hands. I hope we'll have a good group here from PV. We've always had fun as a group there. We do try to get together at least for one meal if we can, to just say hello.
A really good meal.
Well, we'll see about that.
The last 3 times you've been there.
I have. So please join us at the Venetian. On Sunday morning, we do a walk for the Beverly Carter Foundation. You're welcome to join us for that. It's free. There are a lot of just great opportunities to meet up with Epic, Rock Title, our other sponsor, affiliates. So they'll be there and we can talk to them. But it's a great opportunity to network with other Realty One agents across the country. If you've ever considered being a referral source, it's a great opportunity to put a face to a name. If you've been talking to people from out of state and you're going, call them and find out if they're going, so you can meet and say hello in person. There's nothing better than having that personal contact. I believe I am ready for, oh, one more thing. So I am surprised, honestly, and I have to ask Mandy why she did not do a YouTube channel, but we now have our own YouTube channel. And I have stolen all of Mandy's office meetings from the last year and her masterminds, although I don't think they're quite delineated correctly that way. But we have a YouTube channel for Realty One Group Paradise Valley. Please go and subscribe. The more people we get, the easier it is to actually name it, so that it truly comes up without having to search for it. But there's a little subscribe button. When you jump on there, just do that. All of the masterminds that I'm doing, all of the meetings we have here will be recorded. They are then put onto the YouTube channel. So anybody online, if you miss those, you will get an opportunity to find those as well, again, if you need something on there, okay? And that means all of our special guests that you have seen before are able to be heard from again. And I think we have a special guest today. So that's right over your name. That's not fair. Hold on. I can't do that.
Hi, good morning.
Come on over here, Jen.
Jennifer.
See if I can get rid of that. There we go. So this is Jen Drosky. So, one of the things I try to look for in somebody coming to speak and share some information with you is something that's going to help you with your clients. Now, I just, get inundated with calls. I found out all of a sudden that this slot was like a huge thing because 2 weeks into my job here, I was getting calls from all sorts of people. Hi, just so you know, I want to be in your office meeting. Can I come talk to your office? Like, no. And I remember one of the folks that Mandy brought in, and I love the idea. She was somebody that did the blinds. And then I sat there and she said, oh yeah, and by the way, I don't ever come out and meet with anybody for free. And I was like, whoa, okay.
I remember her.
So I do try to ask before I bring people in to double check that they actually will meet with you and not charge you to meet with you. So I spoke to Jen. She was telling me about her business. And I thought this is something that many of you can use, whether you've got a client buying a little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom property that needs some help reorganizing stuff, to those of you doing $1.2–3 million that need a lot of different things. So go ahead, Jen.
Hi, so I'm Jen Drosky. I've been with Claws by Design for about a year and 8 months. But a little bit about me. I'm actually from Georgia. There's not very many natives in Phoenix. So I am Georgia girl 100%. But by trade, I'm an art teacher. So I was an art teacher for 17 years, middle school student. Yeah. And then I'm also an active artist now. However, a couple years ago, I was like, I want to create a change and do something different. So I started just looking, and then I found Claws by Design. I was like, oh my God, this looks like a lot of fun. I go out, talk to people, design. I mean, I love it. Like, hands down, I love it. I didn't know anything about the industry. I didn't know closets, garage, entertainment. I didn't know any of it. So with that being said, a year and 8 months into it, I'm actually the last 2 months now designer of the month. So business is great. I found my flow. I guess my niche is kind of like real estate. You get in, you're starting new, things are slow. You have your little ramp up. So a little bit about just the company. I mean, we know there's a lot of closet companies in the valley. That's, I know all the different companies, call them competitors, call them the company. We basically, just a little bit about the closet industry, if you don't know, we all use the same product. We use the 3/4 melamine, right? We have lifetime warranty. So all of this is standard. Like a lot of our colors, we have different colors of the wood. We just got all new colors in June. So our company, our business is staying up to date. We like the new Pinterest colors. We have the navies and the greens and the wood grain, and the solids. So that's all pretty standard. But the one thing that we do have is, if you're not familiar with Clothes by Design, we are in Phoenix downtown, right near the airport. We just moved in this new beautiful building in June. We manufacture all of our stuff in-house. So that's a little bit of an advantage. We also have 8 to 10 install teams. So we don't hire any contractors. We do all of our own work. We manufacture, we make all of it. We also have a beautiful showroom. That's part of it. So our clients can come in, you know, meet with us, they can see the product. But what I'm starting to hear, what I'm learning, is the fact that we do manufacture everything in our facility and we have our own install team. If our clients need to order like an extra shelf or a rod, or they just call, hey Jen, I need a shelf, we can make it, we pop it in. But another thing is our installs are like between 3 and 5 weeks out. A lot of companies in the valley could be 2 to 4 months out, because we make it really fast, we get it out and we install it. Couple of things just about the process, if you're not familiar. When we go into a home, some companies will go in, they'll take measurement, they leave, they'll do the design, they'll email it. Well, I discovered emailing a design does not work. Emailing a client, you have to stay with the client, you have to make that connection, but more importantly, you have to be able to sit there and listen, like really listen to what they need. Figure out what is the space, you know. So what we do is I go in, they show me the rooms, and then I sit down. I'm like, if you have time, I would love to just sit down with you right now and design it. So I stay in the home and I design it. So like, this is one example. This lady had a walk-in closet. We sit down and we draw by hand. And I measure like, okay, how much long hang do you have? How much double hang do you have? How many doors do you need? And a lot of times they'll be like, well, I don't know. I don't know. We were talking about that because some of these people with houses, and you have to say, they're like, well, just design what you think. And I said, well, I can design whatever. I said, but what if all your double hang doesn't fit, or your long hang, like how many drawers? So I really get them to like break it down, and we go through it, and it's not a fast process. It takes time. However, when we're done, we have the perfect closet for them. So we design it by hand, and then what we do is I will quote it out, and we do what's called a light design. So when I design it, I'm not going to go and design top end, you know, glass doors and gold upgraded handles and lighting and all of that. Basic light design. So I say, okay, if you want this closet in our basic everyday white collection with the 40% off that we have in the mailer, that's your price. If you want the classic collection, this is your price. And if you want the burrito, these are our 3 collections, right? And then they kind of decide on that, and I show it to them, you know, the difference and everything. And then I'm like, you know, if you want to make this everyday white, a solid color, it's going to cost you exactly $541 to upgrade this entire walk-in to a solid color, black, gray, you know, tan or whatever. And then we basically just go through all the custom options with them. And so they can like decide on the price. I do know with us, you know, I'm sure you guys see the Closet by Design flyers. So we have like the 40% off, and then we have promotional right now, an extra 15. However, something that we're really good about with our business, and I know some of the other companies aren't doing it, is we come in with a number, and the clients are like, you know, when you're signing there, like that look on their face. And they're like, how do you feel? And they're like, well, that's okay. I'm like, just talk to me. Like, what were you thinking? You know, this closet's coming in at $57.49. Well, and you can get them to say it. They're like, well, I was really hoping to just be at like 5,000. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can get you to 5,000, but I'll do my best. So I got her down to 5,100. So we will negotiate. We will come off, you know, and I know a lot of the other companies aren't doing that. So as far as business and pricing and product, you know, that's all great. But as far as like for Melissa inviting me to come in, I was like so appreciative of it. I'm so thankful. And I'm going to leave my business card and things. One of the things I know being in, you know, sales, I hate to even call it sales because it's just, I don't feel like it's sales. I go in and I just listen to my customers, building relationships. What are your needs? How can I solve your problem?
How many people does that resemble your careers, right?
Yeah. So I do know, and like I said, I'm going to leave my card, but one of the things I hear a lot from my clients, and I do a lot of, I go in that day, I design it, I present it, I sell it. So out of 16 appointments last month, I sold 14. Like I go in, do it, could be 25,000, it could be 30,000, it could be 2,000. But I know, because they say, Jen, they're like, we've had a lot of different quotes, different companies. You're a little bit more, or the price is comparable, but they'll say to me, the reason I'm gonna go with you is because you listen to me. You listen. And, I think that's a really big thing, especially, if Melissa's saying, hey, come and leave leave my contact information, that's something that if you're referring your client to me, I think that's one of the biggest things, because you could call the company and say, hey, I want to book a install, book an appointment, a consultation, but they could put you with any designer. So if you have someone and you need a closet referral, if you want them to, specifically do me, you would call me and I schedule that appointment for you. Otherwise, the office will just put you in the calendar at either 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 4 o'clock. But if they contact me personally, I can do it at Sunday on at 2 o'clock. I can do it Monday at 5 o'clock and stuff like that. So, yes.
Do you redesign things that maybe they have some things partially done? Will you do any redesign?
We can't, so we will not attach our product to another product. So if it's an existing unit, we can design around it, but like we won't go and add on to, let's say California did their closet and they want to add something else. We won't attach our product to there because we have a lifetime warranty. And if we attach it to another product, it voids that warranty. Does that make sense?
So you won't.
We won't redesign. You mean like redesign?
Somebody could have, closet designs and garage designs that have been around for a long
Right.
time. And somebody could have things kind of done, but they want to do different things because they don't want to tear out what's there and redo it.
So I have people that do that. Yesterday I had a client, they had an existing unit in their closet, and so I'm redoing everything. We're not taking out that one unit that they like. However, my panels, I'm putting panels up beside it, but my panels are not touching it.
Oh, so you'll redesign, but you just won't touch there.
Yeah, we go in, our tear outs included. We'll go in, we'll tear out the whole closet, we'll do a whole new one. Or for example, like with garages, this is one of our garages. If they wanted, let's say this was an existing unit, we would not go and add anything right next to that, but I can do anything on the other walls. But yeah, and a lot of, we do offices, entertainment centers, we do closets, reach in, walk in, little storage closets. We do garages, obviously, pantries. I do a lot of pantries, a lot of wine bars. Yes.
I know with the advent of AI, a lot of design companies are now, doing, these renders. And whatnot. Are you guys seeing that as moving towards an industry standard?
So Closet by Design has been in business for 40 years. And we still go in and we do the hand sketch. And then if people book an install, we take it and we give it to our CAD team and they do the CAD. But no, and I do hear some of that. People are like, oh, we want the 3D rendering. And I have seen the AI ones. I actually play with it myself. But no, and I kind of struggled with that a little bit. Like other companies might show them the 3D rendering or the CAD. And they say, do you guys have a CAD? Do you do? And I said, you know what? I get it. I know people do. But what I've learned is that if I go in and just do that line drawing and it's what they need and they can see it and I can explain it, it works. Sometimes I wish that we could do a 3D rendering, but it doesn't seem to affect the process right now. And the company, they're just solid. They're solid on their process. They're like, it's worked for 40 years. It's still working.
I was just curious to know, if I know in a lot of design, like architecture
Yeah.
and stuff like that, kitchen remodels and so forth, they're able to do that now very quickly.
Oh,
Whereas in the past, like you said, we have to go to the CAD drawings and it takes a while, right? It's time consuming.
yeah. And so we don't even send it to CAD unless I book an install. But like I actually have, because I am an artist and I do AI art, I've taken some of my closets like that and I could put them in AI to see what it would do. It was really cool stuff. But yeah, any other questions? Okay.
Thank you so much. And if you want,
Yeah.
so you've got cards and stuff. like
Yep,
that?
I've got
Okay.
cards, and these are just the color swatches and stuff.
Does
Yeah.
anybody want to?
Well, I'll have it over
You're
here.
gonna stick around for a little while?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. So we've just got a little more. We still have a little bit of time, so we've got some other things. Thank you to those of you that showed up at St. Mary's Food Bank this Saturday morning. I've got photos of you in here. We had Rock Title present. We had plenty of people from all the offices. So look there, I got you in camera. Somebody else was taking photos. We actually did not give us a break, 2 hours, and we were on our feet just packing those up. How many of you knew that St. Mary's Food Bank gets donations from HelloFresh? So we were actually packing fresh foods. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen. Look at these beautiful yellow peppers. I was just in awe. I really wanted to grab one and take a bite. They were really amazing. So, but it was awesome. All right. So talking about education and opportunities. We are on August. We started the August masterminds yesterday. I told you I was going to start a little series for either brand new agents or experienced agents trying to start over and get their systems back in place. Kind of a little reboot or rebuild of their foundation. I started that yesterday. We made it through what, a page and a half of a 12-page document because we started talking about systems, right? We have so many systems available to us. I think we got through ARMLS and Showing Time, just as generalized overviews of what those tools provide you as an agent in your job. So we will continue that. Of course, next Monday, I am not here. I'm at the managers meeting, but we have special guests with Rock Title in the house. They will be presenting the escrow process. Those of you that are new to the industry, please, please, please go take a peek at that. It is very important that you understand what happens on the other side of your transactions, that you know how they are going to flow from the escrow side, so you are not caught off guard when you are not looking at that title report and fail to understand that John Smith is a common name and they have hit a whole snag because there are a whole bunch of liens on the property from John Smith. And by the way, that reminds me, if you have clients that have names like John Smith, please ask if they're going to use their middle name. It is very advisable on common names. Even Melissa Schwartz is a very common name. So anytime you have folks doing a comment with a common name, try to get them to put middle initials, middle names, because yes, when they go to sell that property, guess how many liens get tagged, not attached, but tagged to that property that have to get cleared up. And guess who gets to clear that up? Our lovely escrow officers who have to do the history on that. So please take a few minutes and go to that. It will be on Monday. We are going to try, and I'm not going to be here, so we're going to try to get the link for the Monday Mastermind to work. I'm going to hopefully log in before 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, sorry, 10 o'clock, and link them on to that. That is going to be really difficult because I'm going to be in a Zoom meeting, so that's not going to work. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I can bring my laptop and we can figure it out. We can try ahead of time, figure it out, so we're not doing it that morning.
Yeah, that'll be fun because I'm going to be on a different Zoom already because we're doing a Zoom meeting. All right, so other than that, how many of you have attended? Yes.
Going back to the middle name and common name issue, for lending, if your client has a loan that they're getting for that home, also when we do the pre-qual, we put the names as they pulled credit and how they filled out their loan applications. That's how the contract should also read. When they have a common name, I always at least put a middle initial.
Thank you.
Sometimes they'll put their middle name. I'm like, do you really want to sign both of those names on every piece of paper? It's going to have to happen. So usually I'll shorten it unless it's a very common name. I'll usually shorten it to the middle initial just so they stand out amongst others that have their name. And just so you guys know, as agents, if the pre-qual does have the names on there, that's how I pull credit. That's how the loan reads. That's how everything needs to read. Otherwise, you're doing addendum. Or I have pre-pulled credit the way that the contract reads. So it's one or the other.
That is a really important part of the process, Barb. Thank you. For those that don't know, Barb is with Epic Lending. She's going to say hello in a little bit. But yeah, that is really important. And how many of you see the pre-qual before you write that contract?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a huge hands up from everybody. How many of you should be seeing that pre-qual before you write a contract? How many of you should be seeing that pre-qual before you get in your car? Oh, look at that. You're still not very.
In fact, if you have a listing and you get a pre-call, I always make a call to that lender. Or the
Yeah, but I'm talking on the buyer side. Buyer's agent going out with clients right now and you do not have a pre-qual, please, please, please put the brakes on. Get those pre-quals because of the interest rates, they may not know what they qualify for. Right? So they may have, Barb, you can correct me, but they may have qualified for, I don't know, say 420 in 2 months ago. And today they're only going to qualify for 370. Right? I mean, you're talking a huge difference if they're not watching those interest rates and don't understand that they might need to have interest rate bought down.
Well, and some of the things I've wasted my time on, not intentionally, but someone will say they want to buy a house, they're ready. They go through the whole pre-qual process, and then when they see, you know, what their payment is with the new interest rate, they're like, oh, I'm not, even though they can qualify, they don't want that payment. So that's another thing that I talk to them right up front about. I'm like, so what are you gonna be comfortable with? What this looks like, do you still want to move forward?
Right.
And then usually they have to make a decision, but otherwise, I've seen it waste real estate agents' time, my time, because they didn't realize how much it increased. I get people all the time that say, I want an $1,800 payment. And I'm like, well,
So do I.
You know, so.
It's not only that, it's also 2 years of income tax return. So every single person who wants to buy the house has to plan 2 years to show income, especially for all those sole proprietors with Schedule Cs. They need.
So for those that did not hear that, those that are self-employed, sole proprietors, they have to be planning 2 years out. They need to have 2 years of tax returns. Oh, by the way, that show a profit, that show income, right? We're really good as sole proprietors trying to write off our taxes and not show income so we don't have to pay taxes. But then when we want to buy something, why are we the ones that are always surprised going, well, wait a minute, I make this much money. Oh, yeah, I expensed all that off, right? That doesn't work that way. So it's really important that they are planning ahead of time. Now, speaking of planning, how many of you have attended one of our Rev Up sessions? Over the years, we have 12 Rev Up sessions that are presented each and every Friday. We have 2 of them every Friday. We rotate those 12 sessions. You will in fact see that last month, if you saw, this was just flipped. One was at 9, one was at 1, same thing up above. So they repeat throughout the month, okay? And it takes about 6 weeks to get them all in, maybe 5 weeks now, I guess, 6 weeks for 12 of them. I guess Kathy couldn't do hers last week, so we used an old recording. We have these all recorded, so they do use that if for some reason the manager who's presenting couldn't be there. Or somebody else can't step in and do it. I will be presenting Establishing Your Brand in Farming on the 25th. I was joined by Justin last week to do that. Was it last week? And did that for the first time. This was, of course, a course that Mandy was teaching, and they slotted me into it. So it was quite fun doing with Justin, but I will take that on the 25th. In September and October, I have heard you that you want to go over listing contracts and purchase contracts and buyer broker agreements. So September and October will be covering all of those in the Monday Masterminds. I will make sure to slot those in. We will be going through those slowly. So don't expect us to go through the purchase contract in 1 hour. That is not happening. I think, what did I try? Sarah, did I try to do the listing contract in 2 hours and we only got halfway through it? Is that about right?
I guess 75%.
Okay,
You're pretty far.
that's pretty good.
You
But-
did 3 hours.
It's 3 hours, okay.
Well, to me, they're asking 5 questions.
That's all right. So it takes a while because we're gonna go through and ask questions and answer them.
Who's doing the Rev Up session on August 25th for gold prospecting assistant?
I have no idea. But it is on the list. I can find it for you. I just don't happen to know off the top of my head.
It's the Zoom links which the company offers,
Yes,
right? I
yes.
have attended few of those. They suddenly send the list doing,
Yeah, and the links are in the mastermind or in the newsletter. And there's Zoom links, but 95% of the time there is somebody actually leading the class. It is a Zoom link, but it is a live presentation. Okay,
So Melissa, so RevUps are those which are those Zoom links, right? Not in
Yes.
person. And what you do here on Monday is called
Monday Mastermind.
Monday.
Yes, and that is in person, but I am doing it on Zoom as well.
Normally you do a CE class every month.
There are two CE classes offered this month. As far as I know, I'm not doing them because I haven't set up any I can teach, but I haven't set up any CE classes for me to teach yet. Kathy and Nikki are doing one. We can get that for, it's in the newsletter. It said when they're giving it, it's at the Scottsdale Association of Realtors. I will be there for it.
What's next?
It's next,
On the 16th.
it's on the 16th. Thank you, and 9 to 12.
Yeah, sorry.
At SAR, yes. And you do have to register because it is CE. So you have to register in advance, so. All right. Let's go to the next. How many of you joined us for the wine with the broker? Come back. We had fun. So we added another date, August 16th. Come back here. Enjoy some wine and some snacks. I promise we'll have a little more snacking food for you next time. Probably won't have the margaritas because they didn't go anywhere until the next few days. I noticed they did finally disappear. But they were in the fridge. They're welcome. You're welcome to them. If you haven't noticed, I do have some, well, right now we've got some sparkling waters and some snacks out there. So if you're here and you're hungry, there's usually something sitting out on the counter in case you need a snack and getting ready to go out and meet clients. Do you have a question? No? Okay. Please join us at the Wine with the Broker on Wednesday, the 16th. So I'll be starting that morning at SAR and then ending the day here. That'll be nice. How many of you seen this? Couple of you? Does anybody, can you translate what that value is? $600?
Yeah.
$600. So if you refer 3 agents to us and they join, you get the next year, your monthly fees are credited, $600. So it doesn't matter if the third one joins this month or next month or the next month. When the third one joins, you get a year from that with no monthly expenses. So just something cool. As I've said before, I need your help with recruiting because I am not out in the field like Mandy was. I just am not. I hope to start teaching here soon, but it probably won't start until the fall because I've got to design a class. But I will get out there and do some teaching, but I certainly am not going to be the treasurer of AAR anytime soon, like ever. I do not want to be ever want to be the treasurer of AAR. But I might join WeServe or one of the other, or AAR in some other capacity. Not as the treasurer. I like numbers, but not that much. So, all right. Welcome some of our colleagues here and affiliates. Barb is with Epic Lending, and she has some news for us today.
I do. I actually have an updated,
They need to get us a new
I think
thing.
I have it. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Barb Spitzak with Epic Lending. How are you guys? So, it is Tuesday, right? Happy Tuesday. We have a new president for Epic Lending that started yesterday named Ricky Camus, and it's not Camus like the wine. I asked him. I was really hoping, but that's some really good wine. But he has a wealth of knowledge behind him, and I think that you guys will probably meet him next month. He'll probably come to the meeting and introduce himself. But I think some really good things are on the horizon. I know him and Kuba have also met extensively already, gone through that vetting process prior to him getting hired, and it looks really good for Realty One and CMG with our joint venture, which is Epic. I don't know if all of you know that 49% of anything we do goes to Realty One. So Epic is the baby of CMG and Realty One. So we are here for you anytime you need us. Obviously, you get more attention than most, and we're there to close deals for you on time and with good communication and great programs. We have everything outside of, Dave and I just had a closing last week. That went really well.
Super smooth, Barb. Wow, it was great.
Thank you.
And he says that as they had an incredibly challenging situation, that it was an FHA deal and Barb just kept saying, keep going this way. he had to get some, Hail Mary, window company to come in and save the day, actually, but.
FHAs are great loans.
They are.
Normally the stuff I see is like peeling paint that needs to be addressed. Any wires hanging out of the ceiling or the, outlets or flooring missing. This was a new one. The outside pane of 3 windows was broken. It was a rental and the seller didn't take care of it prior to listing it. So in this environment that we're in with, shortage of laborers and people that are specialty, that proved to be a challenge in the time frame we had. But he did it and he made it happen and our client closed at the end of July and he's thrilled. So, and I put the testimonial in the newsletter. If you guys haven't read the newsletter yet, it's in there. But we are here for you guys. We have, outside the box loan programs besides just your FHA, your VA, your conventional. We have down payment assistance for FHA as well. And bank statement loans, DSCR loans for investors. So reach out if you have something that you want me to look at, you want to compare to your other lender, anything like that. Buyers that need a second opinion, make sure they're getting a good deal. I'm here for them.
Should we ask what the interest rate is right now?
No.
Okay.
Hi. The national average, I think it was like 7.05 today, 7.05. I mean, last week was 7.2. It had gone up again. And I will start doing my finance updates again. I was on vacation for a little bit. But yes, they're gonna come down. I mean, next year is a election year. So we all know that they're gonna come down at some point, hopefully second quarter of next year. I mean, don't quote me. It's just a statistic that's always happened.
So what is really unique well, it's not just unique, you're not the only company doing, but what is the key to telling buyers right now, why should they buy now instead of waiting for those interest rates to come down? What are you guys offering that is gonna give them that silver lining for whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year from now?
So if you have people on the fence that are buying because they're waiting for interest rates to fall, we have our rate rebound program. So if anyone goes under contract by the end of this year, they can refinance for basically free, no lender fees, $1,000 towards title, up to 5 years if rates come down more than 0.5%. So we all know that that's going to happen. So I've been able to get people off the fence quite a bit with that program. You can do the same. We all know that if they buy now, they're going to get more of the house they want versus if they wait in 6 months, 9 months, when rates come down. Now everyone's clamoring for these houses. It's going to be like it was 2 years ago when people were buying houses they really didn't want. We're seeing the repercussions now from that, right? But yeah, I mean, I've been encouraging people, not just for my own because I want to do business, but encouraging people to buy now so that they can afford, the list prices that they're at now versus when they go up and everyone's clamoring for those houses. The rate rebound program is pretty amazing. Everyone that I've closed in the last 9 months probably is like, okay, I'm gonna refi next year when the rates come down. So they're getting ready for that. But anyway, under contract by the end of December, closing by I think March. So if you guys want to talk more one-on-one, I'm always happy to do that. I'm happy to talk to your buyers and also happy to do pre-approval, not just pre-qual. So if your client is feeling uneasy and doesn't want just a pre-qual and they want to go through underwriting and make sure there's no issue going into a contract, I'm happy to do that as well. So thank you guys.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, and we have our escrow team. Who do we have here? Got a couple of you. Oh, awesome. So,
Escrow officer, branch manager upstairs and the sales rep.
yeah, so, yes, we have Julia, we have Lynn from Rock Title upstairs. If you guys have not been in the office upstairs, after this, please wander up and say hello. Do you have a little thing afterwards today or no?
I'm not. I'm Julia Quinn. I've actually been branch manager at Rock Title since 2018. I was the branch manager, senior officer for our Peoria office. And we decided not to renew the lease there, and I was asked to come over here, our corporate for Arizona is actually upstairs. So I'm the senior officer and branch manager upstairs. We're pretty proficient in anything and everything. It's like I do land deals, I do commercial, I do residential. I even do the mobile homes in the parks. on leased land. So, I help people with, road maintenance agreements, shared well agreement. I mean, I get science, we joke, science projects. I goes, why do all the science projects find your desk? Like, cause I know how to get them closed, where I will find the resources that we need to get them closed. This morning I was working on making sure we had some old easements that were still applicable for where they had split parcels out and we're trying to fill this one, and we were trying to figure out how they were gonna get to the road through this other one, but we found an old easement, so. But yeah, Lynn and Bree are our marketing team. They have so many resources with, I'll let Lynn explain that more. Again, I have Art upstairs with me as well, who is also a senior officer, and he's bilingual in Spanish. So if you have Spanish speaking, Debbie, our office admin at the front desk, is also bilingual in Spanish. So it helps coordinating the earnest money and so forth. We've also put, since we're back in the land of open houses, their houses aren't flying off the shelf anymore. We have open house kits upstairs. So if you want to schedule coming up, meeting with Art and I and one of the sales reps or both of them, help you with your marketing plan, come on up. We've got open house kits for you. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure many of you know about Rock University. It's a platform that we have. It helps agents grow their business. And Justin runs that, and he's amazing. I wanted to remember to tell you that we don't have one this Thursday because we have weekly classes every Thursday. Next Thursday, we've got Breakthrough Broker, and it's the #1 technology, marketing, and strategy resource in the industry. And we do have the president speaking, our keynote speaker that day. So that's going to be awesome. It's at 1 o'clock next Thursday.
Thursday at 1.
Yep. And all of our trainings are weekly Thursdays at 1 p.m. But I do want to note, because a lot of you don't know, Justin also does trainings every Monday on OneSuite, where Realty One Group has a ton of tools, free tools to you guys, CRM, website editing. I mean, just all kinds of stuff in there for you guys. And he does trainings every single Monday for Realty One Group agents. So hopefully you'll tune in. Just log in. You just got to check it. There's one at 10 and one at 1. I believe the 1 o'clock one, because he does 2 trainings on Mondays for Realty One Group agents.
But this is Thursday,
The
right?
Breakthrough Broker, the Thursday trainings are for all agents all over the valley, not just Realty One Group. We have quite a few people that hop on there. I mean, there's like a good 50 agents at a time. Sometimes we have 100 agents. They're just great trainings to help agents grow their business.
And a lot of them are taped, so you can actually go on to the Rock
YouTube,
University
yep.
or you can, and you can pull
He's
them
got
up
them
and
all
watch
on
them if you're struggling with a certain issue or you just want to work on a certain part of your business.
Yeah.
If you pop on there, you can see different webinars that have already been, taped
Yeah.
that you can click on and watch. That'll give you some support in whatever topic you're working your business.
Yeah.
Obviously, different people are building
Google
different
business
parts. of it.
profile, how to build your CRM. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So
I believe that.
yeah, and please reach out.
Yes.
Bree and I are here to sit down with you one-on-one and help you with your marketing and yeah. get you on.
I can say that I worked with Rock quite a bit and they go over and above as well for all of you. Any clients really, but all of you, especially at Realty One, that are very easy to deal with and they're knowledgeable.
Thanks, Barb.
And for those that don't know, if you've got listings and you put in your listing, there's very specific language that says that seller prefers. Please post seller prefers, not the buyer must use them, but seller prefers that you use Rock Title, and there is a discount on both sides on that escrow fee. So if you put that in your listing and then the buyer elects to go ahead and go with Rock Title, you send your MLS Plano. Does everybody know what the Plano is? Right? So the Plano, the sheet that with your information and the private remarks that say that, they will then give that 50% discount on both sides of that transaction. Okay?
It is compliant, it is a filed rate. So I need that Plano with the private remarks in my file. So if I get audited, I have justification in why I gave the discount. Okay, so
Also, do you want to tell them about your first time home buyer?
we have actually quite a few discounts. We've
Yeah.
got we've got first time home buyer, we have
Investor.
investor also has a 30% discount on the title. That's the only one that also gets a title discount, with the exception of when when Barb was presenting where people were buying houses because they flew off the shelf. This month, I have seen 4 transactions came in where the people bought a house when they were able to get their offer accepted, and it is not the house that they wanted. So now they are now selling it. Well, a lot of realtors don't realize if you come back to the title company or the underwriter, okay, we can do a short-term reissue rate within 5 years, to where I've done 4 this month, where if they bought, some of them used a different title agency, but the underwriter was First American. We're a title agency. And what that means, most of you don't even realize that there's a difference between a title company and a title agency. Okay, First American is a title company. If you go to First American, they just underwrite with First American. If you go to Rock Title, I can underwrite with First American, I can underwrite with North American, I have different options for underwriting. So if somebody bought their house and they used First American, or they used a different agency that underwrote with First American, I can do a short-term title policy where they're getting 35% off. They're only paying 65% of the owner's policy rate because we're reissuing it within 5 years. So I've seen 4 in the last month where I'm like, hey, it looks like they just bought this. I pull it up and I'm able to see who did it and confirm, get a copy of the policy, and okay, yes, I can give them a 35% discount off one of their, next to your commission, it's the next biggest fee on their settlement statement.
Could you talk a little bit about the first time home buyer?
First time, we have,
This
The-
is the special rates. I'm gonna leave this on the table for you, not to interrupt you,
Okay.
yeah. But it's the 30% off senior, military, first time home buyer rate, investor, teacher.
And that's
Great
off the
discounts.
escrow fee,
that's
correct?
all,
Not
yes,
the
that is
title.
only
escrow
off the
fee,
escrow
right.
fee. Okay,
All
and
of this on
it
the
can't,
table.
yeah, and it can't be stuck so if we have where they're getting the 50% MLS discount, I cannot also apply a 30% discount. So I'll have, and do not assume because they're doing a VA loan that I apply. I am not allowed to just give people discounts because I think they deserve them or need them, or, oh, I saw their age or whatever. They have to, I have to have an email in my file or I get fined if that's the file the auditor pulls to audit. I have to have something where they requested the discount. I love giving discounts. So sometimes when, the agents they've been going, oh yeah, the house that we closed 2 years ago, they, now it wasn't the house they wanted. So now they're selling it. As I said, oh, well, when you get it under contract, remind me that it needs the short-term rate discount because we just insured this within 5 years, so I can give them discount. But you have to tell me. I can't I'm not supposed to tell you. Sometimes I'll call you and say, hey, you want to send me an email? But for the most part, you guys are supposed to tell me. I'm not supposed to.
I'll go real quick about the first time buyer. Do we have to write anything or just update you?
You have to send me an email.
You have to
You have
send
to
an
send,
email.
I need an email in my file. So if I get audited, and what I'll do is I'll take your email, I'll drag it to my desktop, name it request for first time discount. And I'll put it in my file where the auditor knows to look for it, so that when they start pulling my files, all my discounts are in one section, so I don't get fined.
And please remember next Monday, join us down here. I believe if it gets moved, it'll be upstairs in Rock. But Rock Title will go through that escrow process. If you have not watched that or listened to that in the last, I'd say 2 years, please come to go through that process and know what the escrow process is.
Who has an open house coming up? That wants an open house kit?
I have an open house, but I have a kid. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, we have a new guest here. Derek, come on up. So Derek is our new American Home Shield representative. Please make sure you grab, did you bring cards today?
Yes,
Yep.
I swapped everything over here for
Awesome.
business cards, and I'll make sure to send a recap with my contact information, so make sure to keep it handy. As part of it, myself, I've been in the real estate industry for 12 years. I took over for Pamela for your office. So anybody that's worked with her previously, let me know how I can help. So some of you may know, some of you may not. We do a couple of points of contact with new clients that recently closed. So one is we will send out a onboarding email, just going over the instructions as far as how to use their warranty, how to submit service requests, et cetera. As part of that, once we receive payment from title, we'll actually reach out within 7 days of receiving payment from title to introduce ourselves, ask them if they have anything wrong, like to submit a service request at that point. Something I started doing was putting together closing packets. So this is something like, I'll make sure to leave a few behind, but if you have any upcoming closings with American Home Shield warranty on it, let me know and I'll make sure whether I drop it off here or drop it off somewhere else for you. But basically the things that I included in the envelope. So one is just kind of a quick overview of our plans and pricing. That way the client, your client knows kind of what's included, just a quick overview. Are typically one of the first things that people do are change the keys. And so 6 locks, 4 keys for each. And so this just kind of allows them to submit that first service request as the rekey, kind of the process for that. And then I'm not sure how many people put things on their fridge anymore.
They don't stick.
But I do have magnets as well. I usually include one just in case somebody wants it, or they can throw it on their garage door. I mean, just something to have there. And then I include my business card just because we do have our process as far as the client's account. They can submit service requests. They can also call in, but sometimes it's not perfect and they need somebody else to kind of move things along, especially with AC. If it happens to be more like a day or two, let me know. I can get somebody involved. And then my favorite thing is the home maintenance guide. So this is something that includes anything from air conditioning, it includes appliances, et cetera, shows like routine maintenance, kind of what somebody would expect to do, especially if they're a first-time home buyer, some quick fixes for each thing, system make, model, serial number, service date, routine maintenance notes. And this is also something not only they can put in their safe and keep with their house documents, but this is something too, where if they happen to buy a house and then 2 years from now, they go to sell it, they can provide this to the buyer to say, hey, I've been keeping up with it, doing the routine maintenance. Here's what's been done to it. They have everything right in front of them. Hand over to the buyer. But yeah, so let me know if you have an upcoming closing with American Home Shield on it, and I will be more than happy to drop you off a packet.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, how many of us would like our sellers to have that when we ask them to prepare the seller property disclosure statements? And they're like, oh, I don't know when I did this work, right? I don't know when I've done anything on my home. All right, so we should be wrapping this up. I understand we're about 5 minutes late. Let's go no more than 5 minutes. Let's do a couple of folks with buyer needs. 2 of you, who has 2 buyer needs? Nobody has buyer needs. Yes,
Chandler, Gilbert, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot and above,
price?
550, 560.
Okay,
There are homes, but we've seen so many, but
okay.
they're all like fixer uppers.
Any other buyer needs? All right, 3 seller needs then. Who's got some listings? Lloyd,
I have a listing in Gray Hawk. It's a house that is being sold by the builder. And house is in really great shape. The one big issue is that it has not been updated. But it's being sold at 817, which is about 100,000 under what those that have been upgraded are going. Gray Hawk Crown Camp.
Moon Valley, 843.9. If you have a family that needs 2 separate living areas, we've got it. We've got a pool, 3-car garage, 3-bed, 2 bath down, one full bed. In fact, 2 full beds, the master suite upstairs and another bedroom, living area, mini kitchen, 849. Call us.
all right, last one.
That age restricted?
No. Close that too.
I just listed listing in the West Valley, 3725 West Griswold.
3725 West Griswold. How much?
400.
How large?
It's 1,500 square feet. Beautiful. She just finished work on
Okay,
It's the cross street for Griswold, that's the.
it. It's 37th Avenue, 37th Avenue to Griswold.
Griswold. Northern,
Northern.
Northern,
Yeah,
37th Avenue Northern.
I just listed.
So our next meeting is September 12th. Who's reading this slide up here to see who our guest speaker is? Our deputy commissioner will be back to talk to us about what's going on at the State Department. She very much misses all of you. So she is looking forward to coming next month. And so we look forward to welcoming her back into our office and hearing what she's been doing up at the state level. So, and the key to this, folks, is we would rather see her in our office at our office meeting, not get a call on one of your files. Because if it's gotten to that point, we're in trouble. So we don't want to do that. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. Please come to our Money Mastermind, and if you need anything, try texting me first. My emails, I haven't gotten to my computer yet this morning, so it takes a while sometimes. Thank you, Daggy. Let me get off this Zoom, and
Thank you.
you are welcome.
Yeah.